Guys, here is a video on vitamin K. So now let us look about the chemistry of the vitamin K. It is derived from the naphthoquinone. It is derived from the compound which is called as the naphthoquinone. We look after the sources of the vitamin K. Vitamin K is mainly obtained from the green leafy vegetables such as the carrots, cabbages, lettuce, spinach and other leafy vegetables. The next one is the intestinal bacteria is also synthesizing the vitamin K. Intestinal bacteria also synthesizes the vitamin K. We'll look after at the RDA level required or it is necessary for every human being to consume is around 50 to 100 μg per day from the intestinal bacteria, whereas 1 to 2 mg per day in the form of diet. So that is the RDA value. Now we look after its functions. Vitamin K functions include the synthesis of active form of blood clotting factors. So usually some clotting factors are present in the inactive form. It has to be converted into active form in the presence of the enzyme and some amount of vitamin. So the inactive blood clotting factors such as the second, 8th, 9th and the 10th one should be 7th, 2nd, 7th, 9th and 10th are some of the clotting factors which has to be converted into active form. Why? Because these are inactive. What makes this active in the presence of the gamma carboxylase enzyme? Remember this enzyme, gamma carboxylase enzyme, and in the presence of vitamin K vitamin. So it gets converted into active blood clotting factors, that is 2, 7, 9 and 10. Now we look after some blood coagulating agent. It is also called as anticoagulant. What are those? Dicomoral derivatives and warfarin. So these are two antivitamins of vitamin K. Why? Because it inhibits the gamma carboxylase of blood coagulation. So the dicomoral as well as the warfarin are the two antivitamins which will inhibit the gamma carboxylase. Therefore, these blood clotting factors which are in inactive form cannot be converted into active form. Why? Because of the absence of these enzymes. There will be absence of these enzymes. So gradually what happens in the sense, there will be decrease in the vitamin K for coagulation. So warfarin is usually used in the treatment of disease. Now we look after the deficiency. When there is deficiency of vitamin K, it usually leads to hemorrhage, which will lead to internal bleeding due to vitamin K deficiency. As there is deficiency of vitamin K, it leads to hemorrhage or clotting inside your brain, causes prolonged prothrombin time. There will be delayed clotting and bleeding time. Whenever you get a wound or a cut, that time the clotting time will be delayed. It takes a lot of time. It also leads to cholestasis, the another point. So that's it about the vitamin K. Now we'll see some difference between the fat soluble vitamin, that is ADEK, and water soluble vitamin, that includes the B complexes as well as the vitamin C. Fat soluble vitamin, it mainly helps for digestion and absorption, requires bile salt and formation of micelles. But in water soluble vitamins, intestinal absorption is taking place by diffusion. So here there is requirement of formation of micelles and they also require bile salt, but in water soluble minor vitamins they only require simple diffusion. So here transportation requires some specific carrier protein. They require some protein for transportation, but whereas water soluble, they can be easily transported in the water and they do not require any carrier protein, whereas fat soluble are insoluble in water, therefore they require some specific carrier protein. It stores the surplus fat soluble vitamin, but here there is no storage as they are easily soluble in water and it can be easily excreted through urine as excess amount is excreted. So water soluble vitamins, as we know, it can be easily excreted through urine, but fat soluble vitamin should be stored. Some amount of fat soluble vitamin should be stored inside our body. So that's it about the vitamin K. I hope you have liked this video. Please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you.